All right, Wes, you ready to light up?
Sure.
The work day is over.
Yes.
I'm ready to light up now and relax. Toast the end a little bit here. Toast it up nice.
It's the part that I never get very well.
It's the most important part, isn't
Oh,
it?
yes.
If you want a good, straight, even burn. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Oh yeah, we're gonna smoke it out in here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
Drew Estates just doesn't do wrong.
Well, let's start off, Wes. What are you smoking today?
I am smoking a Drew Estates Tabak Especial. I don't know. But it's the Cafe Corretto Toro shape. It's got the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. And then it's got, what is it? Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers. And it is one of my favorites. It's not a cheap cigar.
No. No, Drew Estates is so, I mean, they've been around forever. I mean, well, not forever, but I mean, as far as your New World cigars.
Yes, yeah.
I, however, am going with the CAO. They had the Flathead series, and then they didn't even realize they were motorcycles. Harley had a motorcycle with a flathead in it.
Right.
So, in fact, I know somebody that just recently purchased an old Harley. Was it a 47? Flathead? Has a flathead. I told him, I said, dude, I just got these new cigars. So this is CAO's, the Flathead series. This is the Steel Horse edition.
Right.
The Apehanger, which I got the sign right back here. Bought a box of these sight unseen. It was like, it's called Steel Horse. That's why I put the Steel Horse banner up here. Originally, we were Steel Horse. We changed to Steel Horse Thunder in, I think, 2012 or 2013.
Right.
Just for legal purposes. But yeah, to see there's a cigar out there called the Steel Horse. It's like, yeah, I need that. Now, this is the Apehanger. Now this has a Connecticut Habano something else wrapper. But I do know it's a Connecticut Habano.
Yeah.
It's a Brazilian binder, and then the fillers are going to be Dominican, Honduran, and Nicaraguan.
Wow.
So it has a supposed to have a kind of that coffee espresso kind of thing, and you know, you'll get a little bit of spice on the end of it. It takes me a while. I'll say this: I actually put a V-cut in this one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show it because I bought a very, very, very cheap V-cut cutter.
Yeah.
And
if you don't like it, you don't want to spend a lot of money on an expensive cutter, though.
It's just one of those things where it's got the flat head on it, right? That's why they're flatheads. The cap is very flat.
Right.
And so the first few I've had, I wanted to try a couple of them before I did a review.
Right.
And I did straight cuts on all of them. I typically don't use a V-cut.
Right.
I felt with that being such a flat head, it was very hard to get a good straight cut on it.
I bet.
So I thought I'll try it this way. But I'll be honest, I hate a cigar when you first light them up.
Yeah.
With the V-cut, it actually didn't taste too bad.
Huh.
So right off the gate, it actually tastes better than I normally would say about any cigar. Right off the light up.
I know for me, all the Drew Estates are good right off the light up. But a lot of that's because of the sweetness on the tip. So if there's that harsh initial tobacco flavor, you really don't get it because of that, all the sweetness. Because Drew Estates they know how to do sweet.
They do.
Sometimes they go a little overboard on the sweetness, but people like me, I like that.
They're the only true premium cigar company that has figured out how to make flavored,
right?
Even the infused ones, or whether it's just naturally grown sweet.
Yeah.
With the sweeter wrapper and all that. they know how to do it,
Yeah.
and they've done it very well, very well. They're going to be around for a long, long time.
Oh yeah.
Drew Estates isn't going anywhere. Well, Wes, we're sitting here doing the Steel Horse Thunder and Beyond podcast.
And beyond.
We've been able to put a few of them in the works, and I know you have talked to a few different companies about sponsorship.
Yes.
And I see stuff here on the table.
We
and
have some special stuff out here.
Tell me a little bit about this badass company you found.
So, both of us have beards. Most bikers have beards of some sort, whether it's a handlebar,
Right.
big handlebar mustache, full-grown beard, whatever. You got to put product in it if you want it to feel nice.
Right.
When I first started growing mine, I didn't put any oil in it. Nothing. It's like, I don't like this. It's going everywhere. It's wiry. It's like, it's not soft like you'd think it would be. So I found this company, Badass Beard Care. I've used quite a few different companies before, and their stuff is legit. The owner, well, not the owner, but the founder of the company, he was military, so he is a veteran now. I don't remember exactly how many tours he did, but he did 3 or 4 tours over in Iraq and Afghanistan and all that.
Wow.
So he couldn't grow a beard. He always wanted to grow a beard. And so after he got out of the military, he was able to grow a beard, and he couldn't find oil or balm or anything that worked, that he liked.
Huh.
So he's like, you know what? I'm going to start my own company. So it's Badass Beard Care, and they're veteran owned. Like literally everything is done here in the U.S. It's all USA, and I like that. It's very hard to find a company that does everything USA.
Right.
And their product is good. I've got the Surfer, because I like the beach smell, the coconut and all that. I put the Surfer balm in. It's really nice. Beard smoothed out really good. But they got all kinds of product, and if you see Steel Horse Thunder out filming somewhere, they might just have some samples for you. But you can, we posted stuff for them on our Facebook page, so you can go to their Facebook page. They have amazing products, and it's all really affordable. It's not overly priced or anything like that. And I know they've been pushing things that you can get a sample kit of different oils and balms for free.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I use the oil, but I'm very picky. Very picky about what oils I put in the beard.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever used a balm, but I am picky when it comes to the oil. And
Right.
I've had some oils where it just felt sticky.
Yeah.
And I just tried this for the very first time, and that's right. I showered just for this right here. Showered and washed my hair just for this. Just put some of that in, and it's very smooth.
It is.
It just, to me, it gives it a nice shine. It just kind of puts it in place. And here's the secret for me. My beard isn't all gray yet.
Right.
Gray right in the center,
Yes.
still kind of that reddish color on the sides. It darkens it.
It brings it. I was gonna say, I just noticed that it's much darker on the side. You kind of got the Jay Leno thing going with the beard hair. Though.
Yes, it darkens my beard, and I do like that part of it. But really good. I really liked it a lot. I don't know what I used here, whatever we have. And whenever you put your dropper back in,
Make sure
always
you-
screw it down. What do I have? The Patriot.
Patriot. I'm not sure what that scent is.
It smells good. It smells very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Patriot is what I put in. I had that big bottle right there I tried out. I like it a lot. I haven't used all the product yet. Chuck's Hogwash, I think that's pretty funny, Chuck.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So I haven't tried any of that yet. I haven't tried the balm yet, but I tried their oil. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, if I would have put that oil on, and it would have been that sticky kind, I would have said, dude, we can't.
Right.
I can't, because you know me. I'm not.
You are picky when it comes to the beard oil.
if I don't like it, I'm certainly not going to advertise
Right,
it.
yeah.
I can't. I just can't. So that's just me. So this is pretty cool, though. And they did. They gave us a lot of sample stuff that we
Yes.
pass out. So when me and Cindy are out filming or something like that, you know, we see somebody that's got some super cool facial hair going on or whatever, we'll be able to hand out some product. That's kind of cool.
It is really cool. Still looking at other sponsors, but this is our first one, so it was kind of a big deal for me to finally get somebody to team up with us.
You know, we have to start somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I say that all the time. You know, forsake not small beginnings. I say it all the time. Starting off small doesn't bother me at all. And that rhymes. You know, I was talking with Cindy about riding motorcycles, you know, and that was the same thing with her. She started off on a little 250 Rebel, moved up to a 500 Blast, and then eventually moved up to a, you know, a big dyno with a big V-twin motor and all that, you know, and it was just, there's nothing wrong with starting small and working your way up. We're starting a podcast, all right? Let's face it, our demographic, right, of the people we're reaching is going to be probably from age 40 to age 75 or 80. You know what I'm saying? And that 40 is actually the young side of it.
Yeah.
It's probably closer from 50 to 70 is probably the people we're reaching out to. Not all older people do the newfangled stuff.
Right.
Even though this stuff's been around forever, we still think of it as being new. It's like, I ain't going to listen to a podcast. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I didn't expect it to take off really fast by any means.
No.
I, however, have really enjoyed doing these podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
How's your cigar? This is actually really good.
Much better with the V-cut?
I prefer it much better with the V-cut.
Yeah.
Totally different taste. And that's the cool thing about cigars, man. You can do a straight cut and then do a V-cut, and that V-cut now has literally changed the entire flavor profile of this whole cigar. And it's a crappy V-cut. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible V-cut. But yet, it changed the whole flavor, and it's actually, I like it better this way than the first two I smoked.
Yeah.
Now, it's also had another, you know, it's been sitting a good month and a half maybe, or a good month in my humidor at the humidity level I prefer and the temperature I prefer. So I know that helps as well. But yeah, the V-cut made all the difference in the world. I don't know. I don't smoke Flathead cigars.
Right.
So I don't know. I wasn't sure which was the proper way to do it. I didn't like the straight cut. I never tried a punch cut on it, which was what I was going to do. And then I was somewhere today, and I actually saw they had an El Cheapo one. I was like, you know what? I got $4 in my pocket. I'll go ahead and buy a $4 V-cut just so I can try out this cigar tonight.
Nice.
But yeah, much better. You know, there's really not a whole lot of spice. I think it took some of the spice level out of this. Because I just remember the other two more spicy. This one here seems to have a much cooler draw on it. So I don't know.
I gotta say the Cafe Corretto, I like that. I think I only have one more left in my humidor, so I'm gonna have to buy some more. It just has that nice silky soft draw. It's about as light a cigar you could possibly have. Whether that's the wrapper or what, I don't know. Since I'm still real new to all this. But yeah, you get the notes of the coffee. And it's more, instead of like a darker, because I would assume yours probably has more of a darker roast kind of coffee to it, where this is more of like a latte kind of roast, more of a lighter roast to it. So it's pretty good.
And that's the thing. Everybody, you know, I have a tendency to lean more towards the Maduros or you know, some of the darker cigars. I like this one here would be considered a medium to full body cigar.
Right.
And most of the cigars I smoke are medium to full body. But I found myself recently, and I realized in my humidor, everything I had was dark, strong, and it was like there was times where it was like, gosh, I want a cigar, but I don't want all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because there's a time and place for a light cigar, or if you just feel like you really just need that heavy spice and you know the heavy Maduro wrapper to it and all that.
Yeah, there's times I like that. I like it right in my face, and it's like, oh damn, you feel like the hair on your chest just grew 3 inches while you're smoking a cigar, and I think that's there's a time and place, like you said, man, and there's times I really, really, really like that. But I just noticed I didn't have anything for a. For me, I'm not really a morning smoker anyway. I know a lot of people are like, I like it.
Because I think that's technically what this would be. But
like a nice Connecticut shade wrapper, and in the morning with my coffee and all that. It's like, I'm probably not going to smoke a cigar if I'm still eating breakfast. That's just me. But early afternoon, I would rather have a lighter one. So I have bought a few nice, soft to mild cigars now. Just put it in the order for a bunch of 5-packs. Yeah. I think we talked about it the last time, doing 5-packs, and I did just do. I bought 4 5-packs, and again, doing it that way. Now I bought mine. I purchased mine from Thompson. That's that's one of the places I do order a lot of stuff from. Yeah. Certainly not everything, but I do order a lot from them. Thompson's has worked great for me. I've never had one issue. No issues with them at all. But they had a 5-pack thing where it was basically if you got 4 5-packs, you basically got them for $25. So you're spending $100 for 20 cigars, right? Which is not bad at all. Yeah. So you're going to do that, but instead of getting a box of 20 where it's all the same cigar, now I'm getting, you know what I mean? I'm getting 5, 5, 5, and 5. So, but I ordered almost all mild cigars. Oh, yeah? Yes.
That's funny.
So I did. I bought. I think I went with. I think I got a 5-pack of the Cohibas. Can't remember what all I even ordered now. And then my last 5-pack that I bought was going to be the Oliva Milano.
Oh, yeah.
Because those are expensive cigars.
I'm surprised they were in that lineup.
I was shocked. And they were the Robusto, so it's going to be a 5-inch, 5-inch, 52-inch ring gauge, whatever. It's going to be a smaller cigar, and I got the Maduro in that, and so I mean it's and I thought, well, shoot, I know I was trying to put some milder stuff in, but when I saw that was part of that lineup, I was like, well, shoot, how do you not take advantage of getting that? You know what I mean? $25 for 5 cigars, man. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, especially for Oliva.
Something like that. Oliva. The Oliva.
Yeah.
So yeah, to think those cigars you're going to spend generally anywhere from $10 to $15 a stick. So I can get $5 a stick.
Say a 5-pack of these was, of course, I just bought it on its own. I didn't do the 5-pack fever. I think it was $43 for 5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not super expensive, but not cheap either.
No, those Cohibas I bought.
Yeah.
Those are expensive. That was I think $96 for 5. Wow. And I got it for $24.99. I got it for $25 because I got 4 of them. I'm serious.
I don't have much room in my humidor, but I got jars.
I'm telling you, exactly. I got plenty of Tupperware, man. I buy a Boveda pack down the road here for $3 and throw a Boveda pack in there, and bam, I'm done.
Yeah. That's funny.
And that's funny too, because I know you do have a nice electric coolador.
Yes. Yeah.
I know I now have a couple nice electric cooladors. They're very nice. But dude, I use for, the last, 10 years?
Yeah.
I've used nothing but a glass jar that had a sealed lid on it. That had a nice big round opening. And I went up to Walmart and I bought one of those little digital hygrometer thermometer thing. And I set that in there. I got a salt shaker. Yeah. I got a cheap sponge. I cut that sponge down to where I could fit it down inside there. I filled it up with, normally you use distilled water. We have reverse osmosis water. Yeah. So I just use that because that's even better than distilled. Yeah. So I just fill it up with that water and I put that salt shaker in there and started adding cigars to it. for 10 years.
Right.
10 years, never used a Bovita pack, nothing. That's what I used. And I knew in the summertime, being here in central Indiana, it gets super humid in the summertime.
It does.
And so by the time I'm done, I'm either taking the humidity thing out, the salt shaker, or I've got it all tape over all the holes except for one hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then in the wintertime, I take the tape off of it because it gets super dry here in the wintertime. I did that at least 10 years. As I've gotten more into cigars and I've started to enjoy the cigars more, buying different ones and trying different things and all that, now it's a matter of I do like to let them age for a while as well. You know, I remember watching a thing years ago and they were talking about the Padrones, which is all I smoked for a long time.
Yeah.
And the Padrones, you could buy the 2,000, 3,000, whatever. It's their entry level. It's about a $10 cigar. Because theirs are much more expensive. Theirs are more like $30 cigars. But you could get that one. And then if you had room in a good coolador, and that's the thing with the coolador, you don't get the spikes up and down. You know what I mean? It'll eventually, when you get it dialed in, they'll stay where they need to be. With my glass jar, that was not the case.
Right.
It did fluctuate quite a bit.
Yeah.
But now with something that has a good, where you can set your stuff where you want it. You take a box of those, you know, you get a box of those, you know, for you know, a couple $100 or whatever.
Right.
Put it in there, leave it there for 3 years.
Oh yeah.
When you take it out, you now have that $30 cigar. Now that's the only difference. It's the exact same. It's the exact same tobacco.
Yeah.
It's just they're 64 and they're whatever it is, 23, whatever. Those are aged longer. So the 64 is aged 3 years longer. So you leave that in your coolador where it's staying at a steady all the time. You're not fluctuating up and down. You can leave it in there for 3 years, and you got that same thing.
Dang.
I was like, well, shoot, why am I not doing that?
Why are people paying for the other cigar? I mean, you pay for it because you don't want to wait 3 years to smoke it. So
most people do not, no.
But I really don't want to ash this, but I don't want it to fall either.
Yeah, you don't want to look like
that was still on there pretty tight. I could have left that.
Yeah, mine's on there tight. It's just starting to run. Just one little spot I want to touch up real quick. Just wanted to touch that up where it's a little bit more better. So Wes, let me ask you this about with Steel Horse now. You have really stepped into a driver's seat, kind of, so to speak, with the show and doing everything. It's been a lot for you to learn. There's been a lot of stuff. I know everybody knows you as Cameraman Wes.
Yes.
But you do so much more than just cameraman.
Right.
You know, for a long time after, you know, on the TV show, when the credits would roll when we were on TV, it would show contributor.
Yes.
Only because, and people are like, why contributor? Why don't you put cameraman? And it's like, well, because he does a lot more than just a cameraman.
Right.
And now you're doing a lot
more.
So.
But it's been fun learning it.
Well, and that's what I kind of wanted to get at. It's like, when all you had to worry about was camera work.
Yeah.
It was a matter of getting all the right shots.
Right.
You knew what you wanted. You knew what would transpire better on TV than, you know what I mean? Because look, there's a lot of cool things, but yet it doesn't carry over well when it goes on TV. Right. It loses a lot.
Yes.
And so, and a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, oh my God, we're going to have bands, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. It's like, all right, you do realize when the band starts playing, we can't do anything.
We can't talk.
And
we can't let their music go through because of copyright issues. So it's like you're just going to see a band up there playing, but the music you hear is not going to be the band.
Right. So, what were some of the things when you were just cameraman? You didn't have to worry about anything else, and you're cameraman. What is it you're looking for when you're out of the ride? Say we're at a charity ride, and we do a lot of those.
Yeah.
And I know you're always wanting to try to keep things fresh and stuff like that. What were some of the things that you would just always kind of look for?
I mean, with the show, that the story of what the ride is for is always the most important. So you're trying to make sure you get a lot of, the family that's involved, or whatever the case may be. Because, I mean, it could be a sick child, it could be somebody who's just in an accident, somebody, lost their house, all kinds of different things for charity rides. I mean, it literally encompasses so much. So you're trying to make sure when you get your B-roll, so all your stuff that's just going on in the background of the show, you're hearing conversations go on, but you got pictures or video going across the screen. That's your B-roll. So you want to make sure there's a lot of that. That way you're constantly going back and forth to make sure that you're not looking at just one thing for 4 or 5 minutes during an interview or whatever. But of course, it's a motorcycle show, so a lot of B-roll needs to be of motorcycles. So it's getting low around the bike, trying to get shots that you don't think of, making sure you're not reflected in the chrome on the motorcycle, which that is a little tough to do.
I was gonna say that'd be a real problem.
Yes, especially when you wear a bright green shirt. Construction. Or yellow, green.
Maybe that wasn't the right.
I don't know. Well, I mean, people don't mess with you when you got a bright shirt on that says crew, but at the same time, it shows up pretty good in the chrome on a motorcycle.
Kind of does. Oh, that's funny. So now, and this isn't all you do, because you also have, you kind of do your own photography thing. You do a lot more than just motorcycles. I know you do a lot of stuff. Like you said, you tried the surfer stuff. Yeah. Because you like the beach smell. Because you do a lot of stuff around the beach. Yes. That is kind of, I know your main goal is to eventually be living, whether it's Savannah, Georgia, or somewhere on the coast and by the water. I know that's what you guys really, really like. Yeah. But you do have your own photography thing going on. Tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, it's kind of in a little bit of a transition phase right now. So I do have a lot of photography that's available for if people want to purchase it. It is available. And the website part is kind of transitioning back to my original website. Excuse me. And so that is actually Cameraman Wes .pixels.com, and that'll all be in the bio for the episode. I can put all that down in there. That way people can go to it. But on Facebook, it's Cameraman Wes Photography. Okay. And I am working on being able to sell through Facebook, because I think that'll make things a little easier. But yeah, I mean, most of my stuff is somehow managed to be between Savannah and Tybee Island and Las Vegas. I don't know how that happened. So you got desert, you got beach.
It's kind of funny.
It is funny. But I do have some stuff from here in Indiana. I really would like to get out and get more from like the Midwest, get in the forest and stuff like that. We got a lot of rivers around here, and not big waterfalls, but we've got scenery around here that people don't think is here. And so it'd be nice, because I do more landscape photography, which I would like to get. Hopefully this year I'll be able to get more into motorcycle, because I do have a few things for motorcycles, pictures and stuff. But with some of the editing software that I have now, I can really make motorcycles, vehicles, stuff like that stand out really good. So I can't wait to get out to some of the rides and be able to get some of the photography for that.
That was going to be my next question. If that was something you ever thought about doing, because I know, like we said, your stuff is got more to do with other stuff, right? Other than just motorcycles. Yes. And I was wondering if maybe you'd get a little more, maybe try to get a little bit more involved in the motorcycle as well in that area. Obviously, as Steel Horse, it's obviously going to be a good deal for all us motorcyclists and stuff. It'd be nice to, because I was even thinking too, you get some shots, especially if it's a person that is in that shot, you know what I mean? If you get a big group shot or whatever, I just think it'd be super cool.
Uh-huh.
That kind of stuff. I just think it's super cool. How's your cigar doing? I'm
Pretty good. Mine's burned pretty even the whole the whole time. It's starting to run slightly now, but it might correct itself. We'll see. I love these cigars. They're so smooth. I was gonna smoke the Valkyrie today, the Man of War Valkyrie, and for some reason I was like, I just really need the Tabak today.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna do the Steel Horse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad I went with the V cut.
Yeah.
And I've had to touch it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The burn's not exactly right on by any means.
That could be from the rain we've had too.
Very well. Very could.
It could have threw the humidor off a little bit.
Yeah. But it's tastes delicious.
Uh-huh.
It does have a little bit of I'm getting just a little bit of a peppery, but not much. I mean, not much at all. Haven't really gotten any chocolate taste or anything like that.
I say last time you smoked it, you got the chocolate taste out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with the flat cut.
Yeah, I don't really... and it's funny, because I smoked one of those Magic Toast.
Yeah.
And I talk about the chocolate I get out of that. But it's dark chocolate. When I say chocolate, that's what I'm talking about, is dark chocolate.
The bitter chocolate.
People are like...
It's not sweet.
They're like, you don't taste any... there's no way. You can't taste chocolate in one of those things.
Yeah.
It ain't that sweet. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, no, it's... And then it's like, oh. No, I mean dark chocolate.
Yes.
It's like, because that's the only kind of chocolate I eat. And it's like, no, it's got that bittery...
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit of a bitter, a little bit of a bite kind of chocolate.
Yeah.
Whereas this is not. I don't get that at all with this. This is a much... I say this is I don't think of this as being as strong as the Magic Toast.
Magic Toast is pretty... Well, for me, the Magic Toast is strong.
Mm-hmm.
But most of my cigars tend to be on the smoother side, the lighter side. So I like the Magic Toast. But it's one that I got to really be in the mood for.
Talk about time and place.
Yes.
It's definitely a time and place.
Yes.
Definitely time and place. Yeah, I there's been very few cigars that I ever smoked where I was like, dear God, what a waste of money that was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's some that I like better than others. Kind of like pizza.
Right.
It's like, is it really bad pizza? It's like, I think there's just some pizzas better than others.
Yeah.
But even crappy pizza, I still eat. My God, I'll go to Walmart and buy a Geno's or a Tostino's frozen pizza and eat that. And go, throw a little extra cheese on there. It's actually pretty darn good.
I had one of those the other night.
I'm just saying.
Put some extra cheese, maybe some bacon on there.
Right.
It's just as good as any takeout pizza you can get.
It does just fine. So that's kind of how the cigars are for me. There's been a couple of them. And I'll be honest, I smoked one of those Camacho Nicaraguas.
Yeah, I heard you didn't like that one too well.
Not so much. Not so much. It was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We smoked those, the Filthy Hooligans.
Yes, for St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day. And we smoked the Shamrock, which, again, is a $15 cigar, $17 cigar. But even that cigar, it was like...
I can smoke it once a year.
I will. Right? What do I got? 3 more left? And so they'll sit in the humidor until next St. Patty's Day. And I'll smoke another one next St. Patty's Day. But to me, it was like... What did I say? I think what I said was, I really can't say anything bad about it.
Right.
But on the same note, I can't really say anything good about it. It's like, it was there, and I smoked it. And I'll smoke it again next St. Patty's Day, but I'm not going to buy a box and, go, oh my God, I'm so glad I got a box of these. It's like, the box was cool. It was a cool box.
The box does look cool.
Yeah.
That is the only cigar I've ever smoked and understood when people say grass and hay. Because I've always laughed when people are like, I can really taste the grass and hay. I'm like, grass and hay? Like, I mowed yards for years. I don't want to smoke what I'm smelling when I'm cutting the yard. But that one I did notice it. That was very grass and hay.
You and I are kind of on that same page. We don't pick out the notes real well. And you're fairly new to it. I've been smoking cigars for a long time, but good premium cigars probably only the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But I still don't.
Yeah.
You know, unless I'm smoking a infused cigar.
Right. Like the Groovy Blues.
The Groovy Blues, or even if the old wood tips.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, those old wood tip cigars,
Uh-huh.
gas station cigars. You know, you have that wine flavored wooden tip. You know,
I've never smoked one of those,
but
I probably shouldn't now after smoking real cigars.
I will say this:
Yeah.
we went camping, and
I bet that would be good.
I couldn't find. It was like, oh man, didn't bring any cigars with me. It's like, well, I got to get a cigar if we're going camping.
Mm-hmm.
All I could do is buy a gas station cigar,
Right.
And that's what I used to smoke all the time.
Uh-huh.
So I went ahead and bought a 5-pack of those. You know, you get them in there; they're just small.
Yeah.
So I got one. I got a 5-pack of those, and I remember smoking it, and I remember I was like, you know, not that bad.
Not that bad.
It really isn't that bad. It's like, is it the same as a good premium cigar?
Right.
Of course not.
No. But sitting around the fire, and
I'm sitting at a fire drinking cold beer. You know, shots of tequila periodically. You know what? It worked.
it worked.
It worked just fine.
That's funny.
So yeah, even though it's a much cheaper cigar, it is certainly not as good for you as these are.
Right.
It's you know, and I'm not saying that smoking cigars is healthy by
Right.
any means.
No.
There is a risk, a
Yes.
health risk that comes with smoking cigars.
Yes.
Just like there's a health risk that comes with riding a motorcycle.
Right.
There's a health risk that comes with driving your car to work.
Yes.
Do you drive your car to work and back every day?
Yeah.
You're at a health risk. Motorcycle, your health risk just went up a bunch.
Yeah, I hit a deer in December, totaled my car, so
Right.
that's a health risk.
That is a health risk. If you would have been on your motorcycle, it would have been even
Right.
worse. So yeah, you know, everything has a health risk.
Oh yeah.
But I do like to point out to people, you know, don't lump these premium cigars in with cigarettes
Right.
and chewing tobacco and all that stuff.
There's a major difference.
There's a huge difference, and that's why the FDA lost in court,
Yeah.
because they were trying to lump them all the same, and it's like there's no comparison.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing in common. You know, it's like the cigarettes are much more harmful to
Yes.
you. The filters on the cigarettes is extremely harmful
Yes.
for you, and you're inhaling that. Most people that don't know anything about cigars don't realize you don't inhale these.
Right.
None of this is going in my lungs.
No. But
You know?
on occasion it does for me.
When you make a mistake.
Yes.
But yeah, you're not inhaling a premium
No.
cigar. You know, we're indoors now,
Yeah.
but there is a exhaust system in this room.
Yeah.
There is an air purifier, smoke eater in this room.
Yeah.
That's the most harm you're getting is if you're sitting in a room that's sealed up and the whole room is full of smoke. You know, like you'll have people talk about secondhand smokes. You know, well, it's worse than firsthand smoke.
Yeah.
If you actually look at the studies that are done on that, okay, government studies will tell you, oh, it's twice as bad. If you
Right.
look at every independent study on that, every independent study will tell you it's no more harmful than campfire smoke.
Huh.
But that's the whole thing. That's why it's bad. It's smoke.
Yeah.
Any kind of smoke.
You shouldn't be putting
If you-
smoke in your lungs.
If you sit around a campfire every night,
Yeah.
you're probably going to have issues.
Yeah.
Some respiratory issues. Because it's just smoke off of a fire will do the same thing. Anytime you're breathing smoke into your lungs, it's a bad thing.
Right.
You know? I mean, back in the day, if you were smoking a joint in the car, you rolled all the windows up. You filled that whole car up with smoke, and that way you kept getting more and more and more. That was the whole purpose. But you
That
know,
was back in the day, YouTube.
in the day, the hell, it's legal now. I don't even have to say anything now. It's all legal. Yeah, back in the day, you got arrested for that crap. Well, not in my day. Back in my day, you didn't get arrested for any of that kind of stuff. You got caught with weed. They took your weed. Told you to go home. You know, you got
And
caught.
they probably smoked it.
Exactly. You got caught with alcohol and you were a minor.
Uh-huh.
They took your beer away from you and made you go home.
Yeah.
You know, back in my day, it was easier to get arrested than to have to go home and have dad standing there waiting for you when you go to the door and there's a police officer holding you, and he's saying, well, we caught your son drinking alcohol. I think you know what to do. And guess what? Dad knew what to do. You know, we don't have that anymore. None of that's around anymore.
Right.
So now everybody got arrested. They started arresting everybody for little stuff that would, like when I was growing up, they just sent your ass home because they knew you were going to get in a lot worse trouble when you got home.
Yeah.
But, you know, the cigars, like I said, I'm not saying they're healthy. I'm not saying you can't be harmed from them. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying if you're smart enough to, if you're going to smoke inside, make sure you have a well-ventilated room. Make sure you have good smoke eaters. You know, you got those HEPA 13 HEPA filters in there. It takes all the smoke out. It takes all the odor out. It takes all that stuff out of the air. You're going to spend some money. You're going to spend money on a exhaust system. You're going to spend good money if you've got a big room, or if you're going to have a lot of people smoking.
Right.
You're going to have to buy a couple good smoke eaters, and you're going to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for that stuff. But if you do it the right way, it's not as it's to me you bring your risk factor down, your health risk factor down. Again, why do we always all wear seatbelts in a car? It's that same thing. Does it prevent you from having an accident, whatever? No, but you have a better chance of surviving a bad crash if you've got a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
There are occasions when it doesn't, where the seatbelt actually does harm you more, but those are rare.
I think we all know, but I think we all know somebody, at least one person that was in a bad crash, and it's like, wow, had you been wearing your seatbelt, you would have been killed.
Yeah.
Only reason you survived was because you didn't have your seatbelt on. So yes, it's not a guarantee. Biggest misconception people have on motorcycles. Irritates the crap out of me. Somebody gets killed on a motorcycle. First question, did he have a helmet? I'm like, guess what? A semi pulled out right in front of him.
Whether he had a helmet on or not, it's not
helmet
do
doesn't
anything.
change a thing.
No.
Whether you have a helmet on or not have a helmet on. Does a helmet help in the case of an accident? 9 times out of 10, yes. Does it mean if you're wearing a helmet and you have a crash, you're going to survive? No. Absolutely not. Unfortunately, there's a lot of other vital organs in our body. That's not just the head. Now, again, if you're a motocross rider, if you're a racer or whatever, of course you're going to wear a helmet. Yeah. Of course you're going. You're going to wear full leather gear. You're going to have all that stuff. Bubba Blackwell, the only reason he's alive today is because he had a good helmet on when he had his horrible crash. Yeah. But again, it doesn't mean you're not going to die. No. I just get very irritated with it. I just wanted to throw out my pet peeve right here as I enjoy my cigar. I think I let my cigar go out.
I think you did. That's what happens when you're the host. You don't get to smoke yours as often.
So, let me ask you this though. Now that you're doing more with the show, and and I know you were very fortunate. You had a chance to learn a lot of stuff from Andy Lang.
Yes. Yeah. Had I not filmed while Andy was doing the show, there's no way I'd be able to do what I'm doing right now.
So I know he kind of gave you you learned over the years. You start learning. Andy was the same way. This is one thing I always said about Andy Lang with all productions. It was like, dude, you don't know a thing about motorcycles. Yeah. I don't know a thing about filming. You stick with filming. I'll stick with the motorcycles. Yeah. And we're going to get along just fine. Now, yes, was there, over the course of the 11 seasons, he did everything for us? Were there a few episodes here and there where it was like, oh, I kind of wish we would have gotten that part. I wish you would have had that in there. Or whatever, And then even that, over the time, you learn, hey, you know what? This is kind of significant. He's not going to think it is, not being a motorcyclist. And then I learned, hey, make sure you put this one in there. Make sure this goes. But I know when you're filming, it's a little different now because we're not on TV anymore. When we're on TV, 28 minutes, 30 seconds. Every episode has to be exactly.
I don't know if I'd be able to edit those because I don't know how he did it. I mean, I got to watch him a few times when he was editing, and I mean, when you got those kind of time constraints and regulations that you got to stick with, I don't know how he was able to do that.
In the early days, we used to have a calendar.
Yes.
And so we would go to the calendar, and it would show all the different rides, different charity rides coming up for that month or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Well, this show started in 2000. Hardly
Right.
anybody had computers then.
Yeah.
As that changed and more people had computers, that segment was kind of obsolete. There was really no reason to film that, because everybody, and that's the one thing he said. He goes, he said the worst part about that is that calendar was my saving grace.
Yes.
I could put my show together, and then it was like, okay, so I got to fill in now 48 seconds.
Yeah.
You put the calendar in there for 48 seconds.
Right.
He said when we did away with that, it made it a little harder for him.
I bet.
So, but for you, when you're looking at what you want, what you don't want, is it still the filming, or is it more the editing? Is it the uploading? What is it now that you would say, the hardest part of what I'm doing now is this?
I mean, honestly, the filming is not that hard, since half time we can just use cell phones now for filming. So the biggest thing is just making sure the cell phone's, in landscape mode and not up and down, vertical. Because now everything's going or horizontal, I don't know, whatever it's called. Because of TikTok, they've ruined everything, and nobody wants to go and let portrait, that's what it is. Portrait mode is, like if I'm taking a picture of you like this. Landscape is when you got the cell phone to the side, which gives you a full picture. It's better. TikTok's ruined everything.
So is that why?
Yes.
Because I know Facebook will no longer let me do.
And that is because of TikTok. Because TikTok is taking over the ratings for social media. They've become #1. So now everybody's trying to switch to TikTok's format to try to match it.
Huh.
So now there's a massive movement called Turn the Screen. And so a lot of people are trying to get on this to turn it back to landscape mode, because it looks better. But honestly, I mean, the editing, I'm still learning a lot of things. I don't have quite the equipment that Andy had.
Right.
So trying to make it look as good as he did, is a little tough. But I'm sure he was editing in about an hour. He'd probably have the whole episode done and ready. It takes me about 3 to 4 hours. So it takes me a little longer, but I haven't got a whole lot of episodes under my belt yet for that. So I'm sure with time that'll get better.
Yes, and then obviously as the weather warms and more rides are available and everything else, it's, you're going to be doing a lot more.
Yes. Now the upload part, once you get it done, I mean, it's just, you got to encode the video, which is...
Don't go into too much detail.
Right. That part is literally just making it work for YouTube, for Facebook, even TV. And that takes a while. And maybe that's just my computer. I don't know. But that part can take a while.
I know Andy, there was times where Andy's like, my God, this thing has been going for 10 hours.
Yeah, the other day, your last podcast with Cindy, literally, I had to go to bed and it finished encoding overnight. So I don't know how long it took, but it was finally ready in the morning when I got up for my other job, my regular job.
Your real job. That's pretty wild.
So yeah, that part is kind of a pain in the butt, but once it gets to that, I mean, it's not like you got to sit there and watch it. It'll do everything it has to do. So it's mainly just the editing part, getting that part done.
Well, I know we switched over last year when we started filming charity rides. We started doing kind of more of a Facebook Live kind of thing. And we did some where we actually did them live. And then there was other ones we filmed it live.
Like it was live.
Well, yeah,
Or-
we filmed it live,
Yeah.
and then all we did was we didn't edit anything out at
Right.
all. The only thing we did was we'd throw in some of our sponsors,
Yes.
ahead of time or whatever. But they were short, it was just a shorter thing. And I think what happens is we do so many charity rides, and we've been doing charity rides for 23 years.
Right.
And it almost seemed, after a while, they become somewhat redundant. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, each one's different because you have a different story.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like you said, we try to get involved in the story of the ride.
Yeah.
That's what makes them different. But I knew the way we started doing them towards the end of last year, they actually went very well. We had,
Yeah.
a couple of those episodes actually went viral.
Yeah.
And, sometimes that shorter is better.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer doing like those quick charity rides, or do you enjoy going to places like the Boogie or Jonesboro River Rally, where you're going to be filming more traditionally, where it's going to be, we're not just running in there. We'll actually do a Facebook Live while we're there to let everybody know, hey, this is where we're at. And then we start filming in a more traditional style, and then you have the editing afterwards to have to...
Right. Both ways is nice, because when you keep doing it the same way every time, it just kind of gets old and redundant. So being able to do it both ways like that actually, to me, makes the whole thing better.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing it the traditional way, it kind of feels like you're putting more of your mark on the episode when you're doing the editing, because it's a lot of editing to do when you do it that traditional way.
Right.
So it's one of those, like, I kind of feel more accomplished when we do film it the traditional way, but at the same time, like, we know we got to get episodes up, and it's like, when we do it this other way, I can be done in like 15 minutes. It's not going to take me long at all to edit this. We can have it up. I could literally film Saturday, have it up on Sunday.
Right.
So that part's nice when we can mix and match that kind of stuff. It makes it a lot easier.
Well, I'm debating, because I'm not sure how we're going to do it this year, because I've actually thought about just literally going live.
Yeah.
And just absolutely, just like we do our Monday Night Live, go to a ride and literally just do it live. It's scary.
All right.
Because it's live. You don't know what's going to be getting said anywhere around you, what the microphones are going to pick up. That part's kind of scary, and that's why what we would do is we would shoot it, and it'd be one shot.
Yeah.
And there was no cutting. We would start off, all right, you're telling us about the ride, and then we're going and talking to different riders, different people on their motorcycles, and boom, we're done.
Yeah.
Again, it would go up. It's virtually a live thing. It just wasn't actually put up live.
Right.
And but there's a part of me that's like, it'd be kind of fun just to do it live, just bam. So I don't know. I'm not sure which way we'll do that. There's certain things, like I said, we're going to the Boogie, we're going to the Jonesboro River Rally, we're going to Miracle Ride.
Yeah.
This is the last year for the Miracle Ride.
Really?
This is the 30th, and they're done. After this,
Really?
they're done.
I did not know that.
That one, I don't want to just do a quick.
Right.
You know what I mean? That one is going to be a traditional thing. 30 years, man. There's a lot of history.
I say that might end up being like an hour-long episode.
And I think that's what I love about the new format that we're doing. We can put a 10-minute episode up.
Right.
We can put an hour-long episode up. And everything in between. It's so nice not having that restraint of you have to be 28 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
And it has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Boat Sport and Travel Show was like 40 minutes.
Is that right?
That was episode 2 of this year. First episode was the Barton ride. And I think that was like maybe 20 minutes. So yeah, it's really nice being able to just put in what you want, and then literally you use everything, or it's a lot more freedom.
Whatever it is you want to use, exactly. Yeah, I like that. Well, my cigar, this one, it is burning funky. I will say that. It's had a funky burn to it. Flavor's been good. I'm getting now into the second, third, and I can definitely tell more. The spice has definitely picked up a little bit.
Yeah.
I get a little bit more of a spice on it. But I'm telling you, it's the Flathead Steel Horse Thunder cigar. I think we need CAO,
right.
CAO Cigar Company, man. CAO needs to come on board with us. I think they'd be a fantastic sponsor. I'd love to be able to recommend their cigar because it is a good cigar.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only issue I'm having is the burn.
And I've heard a lot of good things about CAO. I've never personally smoked a CAO cigar, I don't believe. Well, I think you gave me a CAO, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't know. They're a reputable company.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're a good company. And like I said, they have, and this is the Apehanger that I'm smoking right now, but they also have a Steel Horse. I think one's called a Roadkill.
Yeah.
One's called a Handbrake. So they have different blends.
Huh.
You know, so you see, even this one. All right, well, I don't really care much for the Apehanger. The only reason I bought the Apehanger is because I got Apehangers on my bike.
Right.
So I thought, well, I'm riding a Road King with Apehangers on it, so I'll get the Apehanger. But I'm definitely going to try their other ones. I'm going to try the Roadkill. I'm going to try the Handbrake. They have the Handbrake. I know is a Robusto, however you want to pronounce it. So it's going to be a little bit smaller cigar, a little smaller cigar. So I may try that next. But this has actually been pretty darn good.
Nice.
It's got a nice little wrapper on it.
It is pretty cool
Got
looking.
a little front of the motorcycle, so you got the front wheel with
kind of looks like yours.
The handlebars, and it does kind of look like mine, so I kind of like that. Yep, CAO needs to get on board.
Yeah.
Steel Horse Thunder.
Yeah, the next review we do, I'm definitely going to do the Valkyrie. Today I needed the Drew Estates.
Right.
My go-to, my go-to company.
Isn't it wonderful to have a go-to? My go-to has always been the Mark Twain's, the memoirs. They're the Mark Twain, Maduro.
Right.
I've been buying those by the box for years. Always my go-to cigar. For a while, that's all I smoked. You know what I mean? It was like, and now I've gotten to the point where I like to try different ones. I've tried a bunch of different cigars. I still got one of my, this is the last one I have from my last box.
Oh, yeah?
It's the Mark Twain Memoir, and it's the Gordo. So it's a
big cigar.
It's a big 60 ring gauge, 6-inch 60 ring gauge. I smoked one of those just the other night, and it's like, I haven't smoked one of those in probably 5 months. It's been a long time since I smoked one of the Mark Twains. And, probably since before football season.
Really?
So, yeah, you're probably going all the way back to maybe last year, maybe last September or something like that. So, I mean, it's probably been a good 5 months, maybe 6 months since I'd smoked one. I thought, now that I've smoked so many different ones, before I had 2 or 3 that I smoked, and that's what I smoked all the time. And I finally started branching out and smoking different cigars. I was like, oh, it's a whole new world, man. There's all sorts of stuff out here. So I did. I smoked one the other night. Dude, I'll tell you what. It's a full body cigar.
Yeah.
It was like, dear God. By the time I got done with it, it was like, how you were talking about the Alec Bradley, the Magic Toast.
Yes.
Where it's like, dude, I'm telling you right now, I got to be in the right mood for one of those as well. It's like, holy shit. This Mark Twain, man, it was like, by the time I was done, I had a little buzz going. I was like, I just don't remember them being this strong. And I don't know if it's because it's been in the humidor now.
Right.
That box, again, you have a box of 20. That box has probably been in there, gosh, at least a year.
Probably, yeah.
So I guarantee you, these last few that I'm smoking, they've been aging. They got a whole nother year's worth, or a year, maybe even a little longer of age on them. Dude, it kicked my butt. By the time I got done, I was like, I don't know. The next day I went to smoke a cigar. I was like, I'm pretty sure I burned out my palate on that Mark Twain, man. I can't taste anything anymore. So yeah, it's. I think that's the cool thing about cigars. is they haven't. Your palate does change.
Yeah.
And whereas that was my everyday cigar, now I think that Mark Twain is going to be kind of I got to be in the right mood for that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm kind of happy that I'm getting a lot of these lighter cigars, these, for just different times and different occasions and different whatever's going on. Like right now I'm drinking, it was I know with these cigars here, CAO would actually recommend rum, a spiced rum or something like that to go with
I need
this.
to try one of those then.
That's what they would recommend you to pair this up with.
I just opened up a new bottle of rum.
Well, I know you're.
And it's pretty good.
Yeah?
It's Cane Rock. It's from Jamaica.
And it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Because normally I stick with bamboo.
Right?
I like my bamboo, which here in America is technically rum liqueur because it's not strong enough according to Americans.
Huh.
If it's made in Barbados, I'm pretty sure they know how to make rum. But anyways, no, this one it was at Total Wine. I'd never seen the bottle. It's a really cool looking bottle with like this wood carving sea turtle like embossed into the glass. So like, it's a heat treated glass because they had to put that in there while it was hot. It's just a really cool looking bottle. So I had no clue what it tasted like. And I think it was about $30, $35. I'm like, it's not terrible.
Right.
I can try that. And it's really good.
Huh. Yeah, I thought about doing some rum. I'm just not in that mood, so...
Yeah, it's not warm enough yet.
So for me, exactly. If we were doing this sitting outside somewhere, and sitting out in the sun and, the wind, right now today, we got like, 60 mile an hour winds going on. Couldn't sit outside if you wanted to.
No.
I'm definitely not going to smoke a cigar.
No.
But yeah, and it was like, we're going to be sitting inside. I don't know. I'm just, me. I drink beer. If I'm drinking alcohol, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be beer.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. Cream soda is a fantastic, pairs well with, Dr. Pepper. The Dr. Pepper cream soda pairs really good with a lot of the cigars I smoke. Cream soda, I do like that. I decided to go with the beer.
Yeah.
But again, I'm drinking just a light beer with this.
Right.
I would say with something like this, I would actually say kind of like a Killian's, something like an Irish red would probably go really good. This would probably go real good with a Irish red.
I can see that.
Instead of going with a one of my, I don't even know what I'm drinking. Busch Light. I don't
Light?
even know what I'm drinking. It's a light beer. It's either Busch Light or Miller Light or Big Ultra.
I say I had a cream soda. Normally I would put a little bit of rum in there with it, but for some reason today I just wanted just cream soda, and with the a light coffee-ish cigar, it pairs really well.
Yeah.
It brings the hazelnut and all that out of the cigar.
See, and to me, that's what cigars is all about. It's being able to relax. There's something about it. It's like the day is over, and I'm that way too. When I get done cutting grass, right? You spend the afternoon, you've been cutting grass all day, then you get the weed eater out, you're weed eating, you get all that crap done. There's just something about being able to, you take a shower, you put on a clean t-shirt, a clean pair of shorts, and you're sitting there barefoot outside when you're done with everything. The grass is fresh, you know what I mean, what it smells like when you got fresh cut grass, and it's just warm enough. Now in the middle of the summer when it's 95 degrees, it kind of sucks.
Right.
But boy, when you get that sunny and 80, sunny and 75, and now you've been sweating, you've been working, and now you get to stop. I'm the same way. There's a lot of times I buy a certain cream soda that costs more than my beer.
Right.
It's much more expensive than buying my beer.
Fancy cream soda is ridiculously priced.
But there is something to that.
Yeah.
Where when I sit down, because I remember I got done one time, and I'm sitting back, and I just lit up a good cigar. I had that, and I put it in a frosted mug, and it's an ice cold cream soda, and I just remember sitting there, and I had some friends come by. They're like, "Hey man, And they had their, whatever they were drinking, their alcohol or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, what are you drinking? I said, oh, cream soda. Oh yeah, cream soda and what? I remember grab a glass to drink. He's like,
cream soda.
just cream soda. I was like, yeah, that's what I said. Cream soda, dude. The cigar and a cream soda is fantastic. But there is something very relaxing about a cigar. Mm-hmm. And again, especially you're outside, you're not breathing the smoke in, you don't inhale it.
Right.
You're just getting the flavors. You get the flavors. Yeah, sometimes when I take it in, I'll retrohale or I'll blow it out the nose or whatever. You kind of pick up on a little more flavor nuances or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But there's just something totally relaxing.
Yes.
About a cigar.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what people that smoke cigarettes talk about when they do their, 10-minute breaks and they run outside to smoke a cigarette real quick. I'm assuming that's what they're getting off of it. But to me, it's like, I don't want to just go out there and get this quick hit off a cigarette. Like, I want to be able to sit, relax, take the time to enjoy it. And
I was a cigarette smoker back in the day, years ago. I haven't had a cigarette since 1986, so it's been a long time, right?
Yeah.
Been a day or two. And but I was never that guy. I was never that guy that stood out there under an umbrella or under the eave of a roof, just so I could puff down a cigarette and go back in the house. I wasn't that guy that woke up in the middle of the night and then had to puff on a cigarette a couple times before I could go back to sleep. Or as soon as I wake up, light up a cigarette first thing in the morning, before I even eat breakfast or anything. That was just never me.
Yeah.
I smoked because I enjoyed smoking. By the time 1986 rolled around, I found myself smoking more out of habit than for any other reason. And I found myself smoking at times when I didn't even want a cigarette. It was just what you did. And that's when I was like, you know what? I don't enjoy this. I don't want to smoke because I have to. I want to smoke because I want to. And so therefore, I finally I'm done. And with a cigar, it's just a totally different experience.
Yeah.
It's, I'm that way with alcohol too, with beer. I know guys, we go to lunch, you're working all day and you go to lunch or whatever and then, have a beer with your lunch and you go back to work. And again, I got no problem with that.
Right.
I can definitely go and have 2 beers, go right back to work and still be just as good as I ever was.
Yeah.
For me, it's a mental thing. That beer signifies I'm done for the day.
Right.
Right? It's kind of like taking your shoes off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when I take my work boots off, they don't go back on until the next morning. I'm done done. And that's kind of how for me, alcohol, if I'm going to have a cold beer, it's like, no, in my mind, that cold beer is, I'm done. I can relax and just enjoy a cold beer. I watch these people that just slam a beer and get back to work. I'm like, I don't know. But for me, it's like, no, I want to sit back and enjoy it. And that's the cigar. I want to sit back and enjoy a cigar. Same way as if I'm outside, even if it's nice weather, but you got 40-mile-an-hour wind blowing the whole time.
Right.
I'm probably not going to smoke a cigar.
No. I know my tree in the front yard just got all the nice blooms on it, and they're almost all gone already.
Right.
I'm like, it lasted 2 days.
That is funny. Well, as far as we were talking about the different ways of shooting the show and everything else, to get back to that, like I said, I think we may actually try some live. But something I've been saying I want to do for the last, I don't know how many years now, and we haven't really done a whole lot of it, and that is the destination stuff.
Yeah.
I really, really, really want to get, and it's one of those things where you get torn because we know so many people now.
Right.
And we've been doing this for a long time. A lot of people know us. Obviously, everybody wants us to come to their ride to film. First of all, it's cool to be able to see your ride on TV.
Right.
And, you see your friends on TV. It's cool. That part, there's a cool factor to it. There's also a benefit of people get to see what your ride's all about. Next year, your ride's going to be double the size because it was on the show. We get to know all these people. Went to a concert just a few days ago. And, at that concert, we're leaving and bumping into all sorts of people that know us from the show. They know us. We came out and covered their ride, or we did this, and we're taking pictures together, and we're having a blast.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff.
Right.
But I really, really, really want to back off the charity rides a little bit this year, and just, now that we're doing this new format,
Yeah.
and we're going online, and we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube, and we're on Instagram, and we're on that stuff, it's like I really want to try some new things, and maybe a few less charity rides and a few more where it's just me and Cindy getting on the motorcycles and going, or having a small group of people with us,
Yeah.
and go check out a good restaurant. Whether we're leaving central Indiana and we're heading down to southern Indiana, maybe we're heading over to Ohio, maybe Kentucky, maybe Illinois, Michigan, whatever, surrounding states. But we want to go take, I just want to do more of that kind of stuff and say, hey, look, the food doesn't have to be the greatest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've hopped on the bike and rode 2.5 hours just for a grilled cheese sandwich. It's just an excuse to ride.
Yeah.
The main thing is the ride. And so that's what I want to do. I want to do a lot more of that and be able to say, hey, look, man, you want some good Amish food? Come on down to Odin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's a great ride for you to take, and it's going to be great food. Hey, you just want just a good old nasty cheeseburger. Let's head over to Illinois, and let's go on a moonshine run over to Illinois.
Maybe we could do a story about Story.
Do a story on Story. Go down to Story, Indiana, and do a cool thing.
Didn't they
down
just
there.
sell like half that town a couple of years ago?
I don't know if they ever sold it. I know they were selling it.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy the town just so I could be the mayor.
The story of the story of the mayor of Story.
I think it'd be cool. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to do. And then that's the other problem I run into is because I've lived here for so long now. I've been riding these roads for 24, 25 years now. So it's like, in my mind, it's like, well, everybody's been there.
Yeah.
Well, no, everybody hasn't been there. I've been there a bazillion times, but that doesn't mean everybody else has been there.
Just the roads right around the corner outside our town. It's like, people are like, that was the best road I've ever been on. Like, what?
How many times have we done that? I felt bad because you throw a ride together super quick where all of a sudden it's like, hey, can we do this? And I'm like, you know what, we'll do it. We'll try to raise some money. We'll do it.
Yeah.
And then I put, when I have to do a ride like that, I want to make sure it's roads I have been on, that I'm very familiar with, because you have to.
Yeah.
If you're throwing something together within a week, you better know what you're doing, or 2 weeks or whatever, as opposed to when you have a full year to put one together. And I've done them where I'm taking people on roads that I ride all the time, and it never fails. Halfway through, people are coming up saying, my God, best ride I've been on all year. Dude, never been on that road. Had no idea this place. I'd never been there before, never saw that before. And it's like, and it just kind of reiterates, hey, not everybody's lived here as long as I have, Not everybody. We bump into people all the time. They're saying that they come on, they come out to one of the rides we're covering. And they're like, dude, this is the only reason I knew about this ride was because of you guys. I just moved here from wherever, and it's like I didn't know what to do. And I started looking around, and I found this show, and it was like, oh. And I started learning about all the different motorcycle organizations around here.
Yeah. Which there happens to be a lot here in Indiana.
A lot.
Let's set that down for a minute. It's pretty much done.
Yours definitely burnt very good.
It burnt very even. I was surprised.
It burnt real nice and even and stayed lit.
Yeah. Well, you have to do a lot more talking than I do. I'm just the guy behind the camera.
Just the guy. What would you like to see?
On the show?
More of, less of, different of.
It'd be nice to get some adventure ride stuff in there because, with everybody's budget being tighter now, being in central Indiana, you're 2 hours to Ohio, 2 hours to Illinois, 2 hours to Kentucky, 2-ish hours to Michigan.
2.5.
Yeah. So, you can go to a lot of places within a day. You don't even have to stay the night if you don't want to. You just get up at 8 in the morning and take off. You could be in any state around us and be home. And in the summertime, definitely before dark, because it's light here till 10 o'clock at night in the summertime.
That is true.
But just to be able to give people, places to go that it's not going to cost a ton of money. I mean, yes, even on a bike, gas is not cheap now.
Right.
But a couple tanks of gas in one day or 2 days, if you do stay a night somewhere, you can put a tent on your bike and camp all kinds of places for dirt cheap still, if it's tent camping.
Yep.
But just be able to show people things like that, I think would be really cool. Just because that's the thing about the Midwest. It's kind of like the Midwest and the Northeast, if you're actually up there, it's kind of like Europe. Like, we think of, if you went to Germany, but then you go to one of the other countries, you're like, man, I don't know if we could do that. It's like, well, it's only 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like the U.S., but in countries.
Exactly. Yeah, instead of it being states, they're just different countries.
So it's like you can literally go all over the place in a relatively short amount of time.
Right.
So if you're in certain areas, because you get out west, then things get a lot bigger. The states are massive. It takes forever to drive through. But the Midwest, the Northeast, even parts of the South, I mean, you got Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, that whole coast area there is all real close.
Right.
So when you can show people, look, if you map out from your house 2 hours here, 2 hours here, it's a short ride. Well, not a short ride, a long ride, but you can still do it within a day or two.
And that's the thing. That's the thing Cindy and I have both been talking about is, like, right now, we're not in a position to even do a weekend trip somewhere.
Right.
That's just not a possibility for us.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about. If we just did a day trip, hop on the bike, like you said, you hop on the bike 8 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to get on there bright and early by any means. Get on the bike, hit the road by 8 o'clock. You can get so much riding in.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we were talking about is, when you stop and think about it, you're going to hop on your bike, you're going to ride. Now, we each ride our own bike.
Yeah.
So we're going to fill up, we're going to be riding wherever, we're going to probably fill up again before we come home. So now that's 4 tanks of gas.
Right.
We stopped for lunch, so we had a meal.
Yeah.
Now we're making it a full day. Now we're stopping for dinner before we get home. It's like you realize you're going to spend anywhere from $100, $200.
Yeah.
Just like that, just for one day.
Right.
Because we were talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
It's expensive now.
Yeah.
$200. Shoot, I can remember when we used to do a 3-day weekend for $200. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get a hotel room for $40, and you pray to God you didn't bring home any of the critters with you that you picked up while you're in the room. But
I know I'm going to Vegas here soon. Dude just got stung by a scorpion in one of the rooms at one of the hotels. I'm like, oh man.
Nice. That's something to look forward to.
Right.
So yeah, I really want to do more of that kind of stuff. I really do. I want to be able to do 1-day trips and be able to say, hey, look, because like I said, to me, you dish out another $100, $200 to go do a day ride.
Right.
It's absurd, but that's the time and day we live in now.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. If you're gonna spend, even if you're filling up your bike for $15, you got 2 bikes, there's $30.
Right.
Do that again. There's another $30. That's $60. Now you stopped and had lunch. Even if you have a cheap lunch,
right,
you're about up to you're getting close to $100. You know what I'm saying? And then you stop and have dinner. So unless you're just going to fast food places, and even those, it's going to be at least $20.
You're getting stuff from the dollar menu. Well, not dollar menu, but value menu. Because now value is like $4.
Right. But that's what I want to do, and just say, listen, maybe you don't have the time. Maybe you're in a position where you don't have the time to just say, you know what, I'm going to go off for 3 days.
Right.
I remember how those days were. They were wonderful. Loved them. That's just not where we're at right now. So I think that's going to be more of our focus. Is going to be more on, hey, where can I go and just do a day ride. You know, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, so I mean, even if you stay within the state, just going down to southern Indiana by the Ohio River.
Right.
I mean, that whole area down in central southern Indiana. I mean, Evansville's pretty too. But you got Louisville, you got Evansville, and then nothing in between.
Right.
And it's all nice, curvy back roads. You know, most of the people are all super friendly.
Yep. Yeah, and you can ride the river roads.
Yeah.
The whole Ohio River. I mean, my God, there's, what is it, 61 or 63, whatever it is from Indiana.
Yeah.
And you can ride that all the way down by Evansville, and you just have this beautiful ride all the way up. You go into Tell City, and you get up into that whole area, and then you're down by Marengo. It's a Marengo Cave.
Yeah.
I know Marengo Cave's down that way. But then you get on the other side of 65, and you're down there by Madison's a fun town to go through, and you run that river run it all the way up to Lawrenceburg, and it's just, there's so many great places to ride down here. And then there's also some pretty cool places on the northern side of Indiana, and I don't travel that way as often.
Right.
But there's some pretty cool river roads you can ride there as well.
Huh.
Even though it's much flatter and much more farmland north Indiana, but there are still, you get those river roads and you get around some of the reservoirs and stuff. It is actually quite pretty up that way. So that's my goal as far as the show goes. As far as Steel Horse Thunder TV show or whatever I call it, I still call it the TV show, and I know we're not on TV anymore, but
YouTube show.
As far as we're YouTubers now. As far as the podcast, now again, takes a long time to get this built up. If I get, if I see we've got 40 or 50 views, I'm thrilled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying now? I watch some of these other guys. It's like, my God, they had 250,000, and it just aired 6 hours ago. It's like, how?
And
so
they've been on for a long time. They're big names.
Oh yeah. I look at Joe Rogan and what he's able to do. And it's like, dear Lord.
He's the king of podcasts. So he's my favorite podcast that I listen to, but he definitely is the king. I mean, he's been doing it longer than anybody. So.
Yeah. And, and I realize the longer we do it, maybe some more interesting guests we can get on. I like doing these with you where we're just talking about...
The cigar reviews are awesome.
Kind of just doing cigar reviews and just kind of chilling out. I enjoy doing that. I do know I've already talked with Shaky, so he's already talked about coming on the podcast, talking about drag racing on the motorcycle and all that kind of stuff. And I know our original plan for podcast was to be at Gillespie's Cigar Bar.
Yes.
Because we were kind of grouping it around our other hobby other than motorcycles, which is cigars. Have you talked with Nina, who owns Gillespie's Cigar Bar?
Yeah.
What do you think the plans are there? I know we've been doing them here in the studio, here at the cafe, because it's easier for us to figure out what we're doing here, as opposed to being there where it is a public place. We're going to be there when business is open. And so trying to figure out what's the best way, what's the best mics to use, what's the best all that, lighting, all that stuff. What are your thoughts on that as far as eventually when we finally... Oh, sorry.
Cheat sheet.
When we move to that location.
I mean, I know there's going to be certain guests that we have on that probably don't want to be around cigars, around the smoke and stuff. So the studio here is perfect for that. But like with us doing a cigar review, I would love to get up there. We do have some lighting now to help brighten it up because it is kind of dark in there.
It is.
So that'll help. Now that we've figured out the filming part of it a lot more, I think we can start moving that way for the cigar reviews. And I mean, any guest that wants to go there, I don't see us having an issue. The table mic like we have here works really good here. Probably would be too loud there. I think the background noise might be too much.
Right.
So we'd stick with the lav mics there because they have the noise canceling, and the noise canceling on those is amazing. So
yeah, it is.
So yeah, I think here soon we'll be able to move over there and I've talked with her. She I think is going to join us on the podcast for one to talk about Gillespie's, however it's pronounced.
I say Gillespie.
Yeah.
I know if you look at the spelling, it looks more like Gillespie's.
Right. But it's just such a cool place. And if you smoke cigars, I mean, look, there's cigar bars popping up everywhere right now. They say cigars are dying. I'm pretty sure that's a lie. Because I'm seeing a lot more cigar bars open up everywhere, a lot more lounges. Maybe it's a store, just a tobacco store that had cigars that they've converted in space into lounges. I know just around here, I know one in Bloomington, Indiana. We've got Gillespie's here in Martinsville with 7 or 8 tobacco shops here in Martinsville.
Right.
I know there's a place that just opened up recently in Bargersville.
Bargersville, yes.
The owners contacted me a few times about us going up there to check it out. So I know if you live in South Central Indiana, there's places to go if you want to have a nice place to smoke a cigar, have a nice drink. But it's just, I mean, there's so many out there now.
Yeah.
Like, there's a good community of people with cigars, and it's really fun to interact with everybody. So if you like to smoke cigars, but you smoke on your own, Google. I mean, literally, get on Google and type in cigar bar near me, and you will find all kinds of places close to you.
Yeah, it's a fun hobby. It's it's just fun to do. It can be expensive.
It can be.
It can get a little pricey.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's something I really enjoy doing. Cedar Creek. I know. They started off with just the winery. Then they added the brewery. Then they added the distillery. Then they added the eatery. Now the next thing they want to do is do a cigar area because they actually have their own cigars made, and so they are big into cigars there as well. You can buy cigars there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can't smoke inside the building.
Right.
But they're trying to get a designated area outside.
Nice.
They're not sure how they're going to do it yet, but I know the area that they're going to put it in.
Yeah.
Whether it's get an old bus and redo the inside of an old bus where you could go inside this old bus, with the windows down.
Uh-huh.
And
a bunch of two-top tables or something in there.
Exactly. Or if they're going to do just, an overhang and then just put chairs out on the patio. That was originally what they were going to do, but they've talked about doing something else. So, I mean, they've got something in the works.
Nice. I love Cedar Creek.
So when you go to these places and you can do that, to me that's just, that's one of my favorite places to go to.
Right.
When it comes to Cigars Daily. CigarsDaily.com, and they do a Monday Night Live, just like we do a Steel Horse Thunder Monday Night Live. They do one. They're in Arizona, so they're 2 hours, or 3 hours, different from 2 hours now because they're like the Indiana
Arizona
used to
doesn't
be.
change.
They don't change their clock.
Yeah.
They don't do daylight savings time, just like we did here for forever in Indiana.
Things were better.
Yes. Until somebody decided, no, we needed to be light at 10:30 at nighttime.
Right.
I'm not quite sure how that happened, but
my wife loves that. I get up at 2:30 in the morning, so I don't like that.
I got up I was always up between 4 and 4:30.
Yeah.
At the Solomon. So, I hated it.
Yeah.
Now that I don't do that anymore, it's not bad. Now that my job is now doing more bike nights and stuff like that. It's kind of nice to be at a bike. Yeah, you're at a bike night until 9 o'clock at night, and I still got an hour and a half to get home before it's pitch black dark.
Yeah,
I kind of like it now. But back when I worked for a living, I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
I got some really good blackout curtains.
Mm-hmm. But the Cigars Daily, if you're new into cigars, there's a lot of them. And listen, Gillespie's is a cool place.
Oh, yeah.
And when I go up there, I usually dress a little nicer.
Right.
I'll throw on a different hat sometimes.
They just got that atmosphere.
It's just a cool atmosphere.
Yes.
Cigars Daily, when you see them do their live,
right.
The main host, Tim, he's going to be wearing a T-shirt and jeans.
Yep.
Last Monday night, he was on, the last one I watched, he was in t-shirt and sweatpants. He just got back from the CPA, or PCA. I'm sorry, the Premium Cigar Association, the big thing out in Vegas. He had just gotten back. He'd been in the car and just got there 3 hours before the show started. He's just in sweatpants and a t-shirt.
That's funny.
And but they're a lot of fun, and I learned so much from them guys.
Yeah.
And they're just regular people.
Right.
So they talk normal, and it's kind of nice, and you don't feel so super intimidated.
Right.
As opposed to some of the other ones I watch where they are in suits and ties
and sitting on leather chairs.
I know their suit cost more than every article of clothing combined in my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of those the real professional looking ones, it's like, I don't know if I want to do this. This looks too much. And then you got guys like Cigars Daily, and it's like, oh, okay, this isn't that bad.
Yeah. I don't have to go that route.
Yeah.
I enjoy going that route
on occasion.
Yeah, I do. I enjoy the whole atmosphere when I go to Gillespie's.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not going to be me every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Again, time and place.
Yes.
Time and place. I was talking about the Mark Twain.
Uh-huh.
Holy crap! I had a buzz by the time I was done with that. And it was like, dang, time and place.
Which I'm sure that's what it'll be. The last time I smoked a Valkyrie, that it did that for me. And it's a Connecticut wrapper, but I don't know what the fillers are. It's a pretty strong cigar.
That's all right, man. Well, Wes, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed sitting back, and I know you're out of soda. I'm about out of beer. It's been a good time.
Heck, I might have to go home, grab the wife, and go up to Gillespie's now.
Overall, I will say the Steel Horse Apehanger cigar, it's got good flavor. Like I said, this one, for whatever reason, I've had issues with burn.
Yeah.
You get a box of 20 of them. Not every one of them is going to be perfect. No. So I understand
They're
that.
not machine rolled. They're all handmade.
Exactly.
So everybody rolls differently.
And I will say it was if you're buying a V-cut, you don't want to buy a $4 one.
Yeah.
So I bought a $4 V-cut as opposed to a $40 V-cutter. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I will say overall, cigar has good flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to let this just kind of die out now.
Yeah.
And then I will probably relight this here in just a little while. But overall, I'll give it I can't really rate it. I mean, like they have those ratings where it's like, it's a 90 or a 92 or a 94 or 96. And, you have these good ratings.
I do like a 1 out of 10.
Right? For me, if I was going to rate that, I'm going to rate it. I guess I would give it a B plus.
Yeah.
So what would that be? An A, between 80 and 85 or something, or somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
Because I'll definitely knock points off for the way it burned.
Right.
But as far as flavor and all that, I liked it. I could tell as I got into the second third of it, it was definitely getting a little more spicier.
Yeah.
Not hot.
Right.
Like, how you smoke some cigars.
Yeah. And they
just get hot.
Burn your fingers. They get so hot.
The wrapper feels hot to your fingers.
Yes.
When the smoke is hot when it comes in. And to me, that's when I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that at all.
Right.
Never got anything like that. I just got a little bit more of the spice. I was picking up a little more spice as I got into the cigar a little bit more.
Nice.
And so yeah, overall, I'd probably give it maybe an 85.
Yeah.
80, 85, somewhere in there. Give it a B.
Yeah.
B or B plus. And back in my days, if I ever got that in school, I was pretty darn lucky.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share or talk about?
I don't think so. Make sure you check out Badass Beard Care. Take care of your beard. Amazing American-made product. So
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Made in America, boy. I'm all about that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we had more and more stuff.
Right.
And well, cool, man. I'm so happy to have Beard Care. Badass Beard Care. That's hard to say.
Right.
That's very hard to say. Badass Beard Care on board with the podcast. Of course, Steel Horse Thunder would not be possible without Leidendorf Law Firm and Crambo's and Roy Rogers Heating and Air.
Right.
I mean, we couldn't do any of this without our sponsors, so
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for all of our sponsors that we have. And but I'm very happy to have Badass Beard Care come on board. You know, if I say it slower,
Yeah.
I can do it. So, all right, Wes, man, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Call me if you're going up to Gillespie's. I might go up there with you.
I will.
All right, man.
Nice.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too.